18th of July 2020. My name is Sergey Baklikov. I continue my road trip. Now from the Republic of Corella, getting back to Leningrad region. This is the town which is called Priozersk. It means near the lake Ladoga. It's only like 20 minutes drive from the Karelian border. This is the river Vuoks, which is only in 2 kilometers away from Lake Ladoga. And here, right on the bank of Vuoks, the fortress, 14th century fortress, which is called Corella. Now, I will get inside here. Come on. The entrance is 50 rubles for kids, 100 rubles for adults, which is about like 70 cents for kids and like $1.30 for an adult. Okay, getting inside. Korela constructed in 1310 by the people of Novgorod. Let me tell you that back in those days, Russia was under control of Novgorod. You have to remember my video about Novgorod the Great. So in 1310 they are constructed this fortress on a northwest border of an ancient Russia, mostly to defend it from Sweden, because back then all the time Russia has problems with Sweden. So here it is. Well, relatively not a big fortress. I don't know, maybe like 300-400 meters on maybe 300 meters. Here is so-called new arsenal armory, where they were saving the weapons. Here is an old arsenal, an old armory, and there the round tower, that's where was the powder magazine. And here on these lands, here was the wooden constructions, the wooden houses. That's why they are gone. They never came until our days. But these are the stone constructions, so we still can see them here. And that's the main object of the fortress, the round tower. Now this is Leningrad region, but back then it all was a Novgorod land, and here was the northwest border of Novgorod, Russia, Novgorod lands. It's back in 14th century. But then, already in 15th, 16th century, when Novgorod joined the Great Moscow Duchy, got under control of Moscow. Here on this territory, all the time, the Moscow Russia was had a wars with Sweden for this territory, and it went with a variable success. Sometimes Russia used to win, sometimes Sweden. And yeah, like since 1610 to 1710, the fortress used to belong to Sweden until in 1710 Peter the Great, also known as Peter the First, liberated this fortress. And originally here was the walls made of wood, but when here came the Swedes, they are constructed these stone walls. The stone walls because there was a huge development of the artillery. The army started to use the cannons, and for cannons, wooden walls was nothing. So they started constructing the walls made of stone. The round tower, the main construction here. Now it seems like we can see only what is left from those walls, because the walls was up to 9 meters in height. Now it's maybe only 1 meter, and we can see the earthworks. The earthworks and 1 meter, maximum 2 meters of the walls here. I think that it is partly because the wall, under the weight for so many years, went down, and a part of it was just deconstructed. And here is the river Voksa, which is only 2 kilometers from Lake Ladoga. Traditionally, back in those days, most of the towns, significant fortresses, were founded on the banks of the rivers, because river back then was the main transportation. The ships went through the rivers. And look, also this fortress is very well known in a modern history of Russia, because here was filmed the very first episodes of one of the most popular Russian movies called Brat. The very beginning of the movie starts here, when Danilo Bagrov, the main hero of the movie, walking here, he's getting into the frame while they were filming the video clip for a popular St. Petersburg band called Nautilus Pompilius. And the security guards tried to beat him, but actually were beaten themselves. Corella fortress. Also, back in 19th century, it is turned into a political prison. For example, in that Powder magazine, in that other round tower, there was a small prison for political prisoners. For example, for some of the Decembrists. This is beautiful, and the weather is just awesome today. I guess closer to the lunch, it will be like up to 30 degrees Celsius, which is pretty much for this region. Well, I personally don't like such a high temperature. because genetically I'm Russian. I never got used to such a heat, and it is affect my condition. I'm feeling much better when it's like about plus 19, plus 22, but plus 30 and more, it's like, oh, come on. Let's make a wide angle. I hope you enjoyed this another episode of the road trip from this small Corella fortress. The fortress in Priozersk of Leningrad region, former northwest border of Novgorod lands, Novgorod, Russia. Stay tuned and keep watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and I will keep going. See you.